welcome to Press Star episode 62, your weekly video game podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Kristian Lasham, and as always and as usual, I am joined by Jack Netley Thompson.
Sup?
How are you?
I'm good. I feel a little bit bad.
Scared the shit out of me, by the way, when that happened.
I didn't mean about that being loud.
Oh, you
That's your fault.
Yeah. You are just, like, loud.
I'm a loud person,
yeah.
but I also was unaware that there was a resting human being in the room on the other side of that wall. So I kind of just screamed.
You did kind of
I do
scream.
apologise.
So I also made it worse with then obnoxiously loud introduction music. So.
Yes. But anyway, other than that, I'm fine.
Good.
All fine and dandy.
I am glad. Before we start anything today, a shout out to Aston Microphones, who have very kindly provided us with two Aston Stealth's new microphone from them to try it out, to see how we feel, to see if it's something that we would like to go forth and purchase for said podcasting show.
Who knows?
Who knows? It will be really a lot of it down to you. If you're listening, Jack and Liam, tell us in the comments, or
I thought you were going to say, do you want to buy these microphones for us?
Tell us in the comments, or message us on Twitter and or Facebook, and let us know what you think. Do the voices sound any better, any different, any worse? What are your thoughts? What are your inputs? And we'll go from there, I guess. The little purple light doesn't really show up on the...
It doesn't, so I don't know what people were
I
complaining
don't know what people were
about.
bitching about either.
Can't see it at all.
I will definitely...
Do you know what I reckon their problem was that...
Shitty webcams?
And that being the only source of light
yeah.
on screen.
Yeah.
I mean, the little if these were brighter than those, I would predict a problem. But I would predict a further problem in the manufacturing.
Yes.
If these lights were brighter than fucking those.
Yeah, these are really well made, actually. I'm quite pleased.
No, they are.
Impressed.
They are indeed. I mean,
it's-
we can't hear what they sound like right now.
It is also the first time ever we have had the same microphone,
It is.
which is quite cool.
Mm.
Which is quite cool. So
It's a good idea to do going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be these, those,
Them, whatever. Other brands are available.
They are.
But
indeed.
thank you to Aston for providing us with these to see how we get on. Anyway, this is Press Start, your weekly video game podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. Don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can see us anytime you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media. And you can subscribe and follow on multiple different podcast services on and around the internet.
Indeed.
And if you like what we're doing, head over to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk, where you can find a wide-ish range of merchandise, all of which supports us here at the channel.
That still makes me laugh.
What? The wide-ish. I mean, that will become wide.
Oh, no, I know.
Eventually,
We
the
haven't
ish
got
will
there yet.
dissipate.
Yes, we haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot to do.
There's a lot to do. Jack, let's just dive straight into things this week.
Yes.
No vaguely planned news.
No, because it's that vaguely planned that even the news providers didn't do any.
Exactly. So, and there's a lot to talk about, I feel, this week. I mean, we might find it only takes 10 minutes, but I feel like I've got a lot to say.
As do I, and I feel each other's sayings will brew more sayings that we haven't even thought about. So I
also think
feel we can... It will be a shorter episode, I feel.
Yeah.
But it'll be more concise. More... I promise nothing. Revolving that, by the way. It should be more concise and directed, as opposed to start talking about some vaguely planned news and ending up on pizza toppings.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I had a sweet chili chicken pizza for dinner, actually.
That's a good pizza.
It was really good.
Where from?
It was just like an Asda one.
To be fair, sometimes I feel that just a supermarket pizza hits better than a takeaway pizza.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I feel a supermarket is a pizza you can have without an entree of guilt.
Mm-hmm. I mean, primarily it's substantially cheaper. That
yes,
also helps.
exactly. Like you can buy 10 of those for the price of a small Domino's. But
yeah, like literally a personal size 4-slice pizza.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they start getting a bit more expensive when you get into Chicago Town, but Chicago Town is when you're feeling fancy.
Yep.
But I'm still
when you've got guests.
Yes, especially when like you can get these fucking what? I don't know why I just censored myself there, but you can get these bloody massive. You can get these fucking massive pizzas.
You get these big
that are really good
pizzas
for like £3
Yeah,
in
no,
Sainsbury's, and
Yeah.
it's like that's a good £3. It's a good through. And they'll cook it for you.
I know.
Oh,
It's good,
fuck
isn't it?
you,
It's
Domino's.
good. Also, I went to Miller and Carter yesterday.
Is that steak place?
Fancy steak place. Spent too much money.
I imagine you did, but it's fair enough.
It was good. It was good. It was the first time in ages I've been out for a restaurant and gone, oh, do you know what? Yeah, I'll have a dessert.
To be fair, my not having a dessert is never a financial decision. Decision,
yeah.
It's everybody else is going, oh, I'm full. I'm like, you thin people.
Yeah.
Like, let me have my pudding. Like, I'm full. Get fucked, you're full.
Well,
it's a different stomach, and we all know that.
I ended up with 2 puddings.
That's
'Cause-
never an issue.
I was sort of getting to dessert, and I was like, I don't know if I do want a dessert or not. And I'm not sure if I fancy one. I definitely fancy a cup of tea, though. Camilla was like, I think I fancy dessert, but I would have a look. And then they had these like mini desserts.
It is also entirely down to the menu on whether or
Yeah.
not you go for because a lot of places the puddings are shit.
Definitely. But they had like this option of a mini dessert with a hot drink. So I had a mini creme brulee with a cup of tea. I quite like a creme brulee. And Camilla had a mini chocolate brownie with her, whatever she had. Then she decided that her mini chocolate brownie was too big and too sickly. So she had 2 mouthfuls and decided she didn't want that. So I had that too. So
I am the pudding roundup, man.
It worked
people
out really
who
well
don't
for me.
finish. I don't care how many people there are and how many people don't finish their puddings. I will eat them all. To the detriment of my own health, I will eat them all. Usually because people buy very different things.
Yeah.
I have a massive sweet tooth, and why not? But when they start throwing weird fruit shit into the mix,
I know,
tend
yeah,
to,
it's
like I don't like. I like raspberry cheesecakes and strawberry cheese. I know you don't.
I don't care for them.
But I like stuff like that, and I like certain things like different fruit varieties of eaten mess.
Right.
And I imagine that's your version of hell.
Yeah, it's not far off it, yeah.
Yeah. But I do love a good eaten mess, a banoffee pie, that sort of thing. But
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
not-
like,
it's not
would you
me.
like kiwi? Do I want a hairy ballsack as pudding? No, I don't.
I thought you were just going to leave it on, do I want a hairy ballsack? I was like, let's take a turn at this restaurant, Jack. What kind of restaurants are you going to?
Hairy
Besides, I'm
ballsack.
not happy with the angle of this microphone. I fixed it.
Change it
I've
then.
resolved. I've done it. I've resolved it right now.
But anyway, we're not here to talk.
Immediately after saying we're going to dive straight in.
I will admit that was your fault
That
this
was my
time. I said we're not going to go on about talking about pizza toppings, and we ended up talking about pizza.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order
Yes,
is out.
it is.
in the world.
It is.
Reviews hit night of release. Embargo was tight to avoid
Thursday
spoilers.
night, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
and that was to avoid spoilers. I
So they do that. What is this 5-month gap for the Mandalorian?
I haven't had anything spoiled for me yet.
For what?
Jedi.
Either.
Mandalorian I have, but Star Wars, the game, sorry.
Star Wars.
Jedi Fallen Order, not had anything spoiled as of yet.
No, I didn't get anything spoiled. But, well, I finished it.
Yes, but you have also played it in a day. So,
2 days. I finished it at like 10 o'clock last night.
all right, fair enough. Okay.
It is currently Sunday, by the way, so 2 days.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I have only played a few hours, but I've already developed a lot of thoughts.
As did I, funnily
So,
enough.
I think as you've finished, I should go first
Okay.
because I think you're going to have more to say based off my early, because mine are still kind of early impressions.
I know where they go, whether or
That-
not they get better, worse, become
Yeah.
further problems,
Yeah.
spawn more problems,
Whereas I think if you just
counteracts a different problem. Yeah.
Whereas if you just jump in first, I feel like it might just dispel most of my. Oh, I wanted to say a thing about that. So
yes.
before I do that, I have a question for you. It's a simple yes or no answer.
Okay.
Did you enjoy the game?
Yes.
Also, yes. I am really enjoying the game.
Yeah. No. Despite, I have a few problems.
I have a lot of problems. I
Oh.
have like many.
From you haven't really said anything to me, but from what you have said, I feel all your problems were due to difficulty.
Okay, right. So I'll start with that. So when I started playing the game, started playing it late Friday evening, which came out Friday. Started playing it late Friday evening. Try and keep this fairly spoiler free. If I start to delve into spoiler world, hit me.
Just smack you
The
across
game
head.
starts off with a strange kind of opening pace, I feel. The opening of the game is very much like, okay, you're playing now. And it
The
just sort of
opening
starts
causes
with...
one of my
Yeah, it
problems
just
with the
starts
game.
with like a weird traversal thing, and it doesn't tell you anything.
No.
There's no like press X to jump or anything
Nope.
like that. It's just
because
like,
it assumes you're smarter than that, which I liked.
which is fine. I have zero problem with that. But at first, you're so used to that from a game and being completely like your hand held for those early stages.
To be fair, I noticed it and figured out what was going on the first time you had to jump.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It just made me go, what am I doing? What? Oh, okay. I'll figure it. I get it. Right. Okay. Games. And that goes on for a little while, and then you go into
That was my first problem. That opening set piece is way too long.
way too long. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I can say that about every single set piece in the game is way too long.
Everything that I've played so far is, I feel like there's so many things where it's like, fuck me, it's still going. Okay.
They're all way too long.
Yeah, the pacing of the game feels weird. That's my first big takeaway from the few hours I played, is the pacing feels weird. On top of that, kind of, I don't think the signposting is always great. There's a lot of points where it's just like, where the fuck am I supposed to go? You can load up your little holo map, which is cool. It gives you different levels. Like BD1 projects it, and you can sort of look around and say, my objective's there. Doesn't tell you how to get there. Fine, that's part of the puzzle. But without picking up that holo map, there's nothing anywhere to point you in the right direction. It's just kind of,
I kind of like that because it's more designed like a place as opposed to a game. And I never really had the problem.
I never
really had that problem.
I think the reason I had a problem with it is because the maps are designed and each planet is designed, each world is designed, that to progress further, you often have to backtrack. And it's just this constant toss-up of like, wait, so do I need to try and... have I got to figure out how to make that jump that I can't yet make? Or do I need to backtrack and then I learn something and then I figure it out?
No,
That's the thing I've always found really hard, is finding
the
that
map
balance
answers
of-
that. If
Does
it's
it?
red, you can't do it. Full stop.
Ah.
You do not have the power to do it yet if it's red on the map.
Oh, I thought if it was red, it just meant you haven't yet. No, that's the yellowy thing.
The orange bar
okay.
across is the
You haven't-
unexplored path.
I've just
If
sussed
it's
that.
red, it's like a bridge you can't pull down yet, or something you
Yeah.
can't push over because you haven't got force push, or whatever powers you don't have at the time. You can't do it yet. So I thought the map was actually quite helpful in the. Oh, okay, I don't go that way because I can't go that way.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm at this point in the story, therefore I have to be able to
Yeah,
get over
yeah,
there.
yeah,
So
makes
it's
sense.
obviously not that way.
Yeah, I think I have a few little sort of weird gameplay quirk problems like that, which will probably get dispelled the more I play it and the more I learn the game.
My main problem with the map was everything is the same color, so it just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell what the fuck's going on. Like, is that a Is that a wall?
Well, that's what I mean. I'm often looking at the map and just like, I don't really understand. Is that where a place I can go? Is that where I'm supposed to be going?
No, and the way it kind of, like because the map only shows you really where you've been, as well. The map doesn't show you. It shows you like the little bit, the objective marker,
area, yeah.
but it doesn't show you any of the land mass
Yeah, and
where you are.
That's
and
explained in game that BD1 maps it out as you go.
yeah,
there.
of course, and I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like that makes it incredibly difficult sometimes
There
to
is-
figure out where the fuck you're going, because so many times you're just like, there is points where I can tell you based on where you've told me you are, the planets are so much bigger than you've seen.
I've already started to figure out that they're much bigger.
So much bigger.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. Even if you're like, oh, I've covered the whole area, it goes down.
Yeah.
Like, it will go down or up or something. Like, they are huge.
Yeah, I've already started to figure out that the places are much bigger than
to the
your
point where it
initial
actually
showing.
takes quite a while.
Yeah,
like, if you
it
need-
takes a while just simply navigating around a lot of the time.
Well, yeah, that's usually because you end up going like, oh, this is a side path, or a lot of the levels are designed, as you say, you start doing this objective, you follow it, and all it does is take you to a shortcut back to where you started.
Yeah.
Sometimes I thought that was fine, but sometimes on certain planets, I was like, so that was just a massive waste of time.
Yeah.
Like, it gets you an item, but I'm just like, you could have just put that item at the top.
Yep.
Like, it hasn't pushed the story any further forward. It's just been half an hour of me walking and fighting enemies that didn't need to be there. And it's very much we need to make this game longer.
Yeah,
Because everybody just complains about game length all the time. I mean, they complained about Spider-Man being 20 hours, so I feel it in the internet air that people are complaining about this being 12.
Yeah.
I haven't read anything about this game, so I don't.
So is it 12-hour campaign, 20-hour total, you reckon?
No. 30, 40 total.
Right,
Probably.
okay.
I've done about 20.
Right.
Merely because getting lost and doing certain things, there was a point. I'm not going to. Mild spoiler. Not really. It's not a plot spoiler. There was a point where I was trying to get back to my ship on Zepho, but fucked if I could figure out where I was going. I went a certain way. Enemy appeared. I lost, and it took me to prison.
Oh.
So I had to get out of that. And weirdly enough, when I got out of that, I was like, that was a quicker way to get back to my ship.
So I feel like I have a lot of good things to say, but I want to get the bad things out of the way. So my big issue so far, and I'll sort of list them and then I'll go to them in detail. So the big things that I'm sort of having trouble with is polish or lack thereof.
Yeah, there isn't any.
Difficulty and difficulty spikes, which I'll go into more detail. I've got a thought out explanation of what I don't like about the difficulty. There is the argument of
it's meant to be
hard, but I have more to it than that. The whole little niggly things I was just saying about not really understanding where I'm going a lot of the time, but that's just me learning the game. I fully get that problem.
Yeah, I don't see that as a problem with the game.
What was the other one? There was another problem I had. Polish? Difficulty. Oh, that was it. That's my three big things. So, the polish problem. As you said, there isn't any. There's no polish at all. And from the very beginning of the game, up to where I am so far, it has been full of weird bugs and glitches and visual stuff more than anything. Cutscenes that are really like the cuts between cutscene and gameplay are a bit janky, or a character suddenly appears a couple of frames after the cutscene, it pops in. And I was doing an execution move earlier, and my lightsaber blade disappeared halfway through and then came back. And like,
I had a cutscene where someone's lightsaber wasn't there.
Yeah, there's loads of weird shit like that keeps happening, and weird little like, that's just suddenly popped and a light suddenly flashed, or a weird texture pop, and it's non-stop. Lip sync goes all the time as well, I found. It's always like, yep, your lips are now out. So, they're gone. Oh, there it is. Endless. Camilla's spotted it 100 times on the few hours she's watched play as well. Just like, well, that looked bad. That looked dodgy. That was weird.
See,
so, yep.
I haven't had that much, and I wouldn't.
I've had a few.
There are significantly worse polished games.
I've had a few T-poses as well. Walk around the corner, stormtroopers in T-pose, and then suddenly pops in. I've had that a couple of times.
I have not had that much. I have not had that much at all. There's a few frame rate issues.
There's a few frame issues, but
pretty much all I've had.
Frame issues are a thing that just happens in games, and it's never really bothered me. There was one point during my playthrough so far where the game just like froze and gave me like a loading symbol. Like
I did have that,
and I was like, great,
I did have that,
and then it sort of carries on. It's like,
it hasn't been optimized.
Yeah.
And that I can guarantee, given that this game was made by Respawn, I can guarantee you that's EA's fault.
Oh yeah, it's definitely an EA problem. I think a lot of the weird little problems are an EA pressure problem.
I think every problem to do with performance is EA's fault.
Although it was Unreal Engine and not Frostbite, which is amusing. But anyway.
Well, I just mean we need to get this out before Star Wars.
Yeah.
As opposed to Star Wars is a year-round popular
IP.
EA being dumb again.
Yeah, which they are just perpetually. They're tough. It's weird. It's weird. There's just always weird little...
It does sound like...
None of it's ruined the game for me, but it takes me out of it a little bit every time. It's just like, that was a bit odd. That was a bit odd.
In a game like this, I never get like immersed in it. I enjoy my time with it, and I enjoy... So my biggest problem... And it's not the game's fault. It's the IP's fault. Is you know where it's going because we've got
so much, and
like
it's set in between two films, so it's like
it's set between two films, and there's even a film set between the two films, and after this, like I know where this is going. I know whether or not this mission succeeds. I don't know why, but I know whether or not it succeeds.
It is the same. It is the Rogue One problem. Rogue One had that problem where it was like, well, they do it. Like, you don't know how, but they succeed in that plan.
Yeah, like, we know they succeed. Didn't necessarily know they all died.
No.
Spoilers for Rogue One. Came out many years ago.
Get over yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But it's just like with Star Wars, you either need to do a completely separate story in the
Just
middle,
in the universe.
like The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with episode 6 or episode 7. It just happens to be set in that time period between the two.
I think the problem with this kind of game, though, is you can't have a game about a Jedi without it being linked into that main story.
No, of course. So do it either before all of it
That would have to,
or after all of it.
Yeah, during the Clone Wars or something like that. And
Clone Wars shit.
yeah.
Why don't we have more? I know we have a show called The Clone Wars, which is apparently good, but I haven't watched it because...
It's a cartoon?
No. I just haven't watched it because
Oh.
I've never been, oh my god, Star Wars, so I never thought... And the movie was diabolical. The
Attack of
Clone
the
Wars...
Clones,
No. The Clone Wars.
There's a Clone Wars movie?
Yeah, that's where the show came from. The movie was first.
I didn't know that.
It's bad. So
I'm
I always
surprised.
just assumed that Clone Wars
Yep.
series was
Fair
going to be
assumption.
as bad. Apparently, it's actually quite good. I've always meant to go and watch it and what have you. And Star Wars Rebels is apparently really good as well because they're two of the only things that still exist that are canon. And apparently, Anakin Skywalker is a lot more likable than Clone
Really?
Wars. Not just I don't like sand.
It's all cool.
He's got Revenge of the Sith hair though,
Yeah.
not his stupid short.
Padawan ponytail, I think, yeah.
This is about Jedi Fallen Order. Have you got to a flashback scene yet?
Where you're suddenly...
A child. They look
I
bad.
didn't want to say because of spoilery stuff, but yes, I have, and they do look bad. There's a lot of things that look bad. Wookiees look fucking appalling.
I think that's it. Those scenes and the Wookiees are the only things that look bad.
That's two things too many. The
They're
Wookiees
still
is no
games.
excuse. The Wookiees is no excuse for them to look as bad as they do.
Well, considering the character's hair looks fine.
exactly,
It's an odd...
but it's not even just the fur that looks bad. Like they don't, their shape doesn't look right. They don't look right at all.
They're too thin.
They're
too thin,
It's
yeah.
weird. I don't like. Anyway, there's weird polish problems. My difficulty problem isn't so much that it's hard. I don't have a problem with it being hard. That's the point. The way the combat system works, it's supposed to be hard. My problem is that it feels hard for the wrong reasons at times. But what I mean by that is, you are a Jedi with a lightsaber. When you walk
You're
up,
a shit Jedi.
still, when you walk up to 3 or 4 stormtroopers, with pistols, with blasters, it should be far easier to take them down than what it is to take down a big fucking scary troll bug thing that's chasing at you. That should be harder work. And I find the one-on-one fights with the bigger things are far easier than, I've got 2 stormtroopers. I always find harder.
They take 1 deflected bullet.
Some of them do, some of them don't.
Well, some of them take 2.
Yeah, so if you've got a couple, and then there's one guy with a swordy thing, and there's a rocket launcher prick.
Just dodge him, take them out first.
See, I find that
Slow
difficult.
the rocket, push it back.
I find that difficult to do. I think it...
Oh, just force push them off the edge.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
is
easiest
satisfying,
way
yeah,
to
yeah.
get out of a difficult fight. Do you know how many purge troopers I killed by just I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Just throw them off the fucking
Well,
edge.
now I've knocked it all the way down to the easiest difficulty. Now it feels that way. It feels like I walk up to 5 stormtroopers and I make short work of them, and it's like, and now I'm playing it, feeling, going, yes, that felt good. That felt awesome. I feel like a Jedi now.
Yeah, so...
Basically, the problem was I found it hard in a way which then meant that it became frustrating, and then like it shouldn't be this hard. I shouldn't be struggling this much. I'm not that bad at melee games. I'm not good at melee games. I never have been. It was one of my problems with the new Assassin's Creed combat system. I'm not very good at that kind of combat system. Never have been. It just felt like the spike then between when you're coming up to what is almost like a boss enemy or a mini boss enemy weren't any harder than just a couple of stormtroopers, and that felt off to me. That's what feels unbalanced or
The purge troopers
wrong with
are.
it.
They're definitely harder in the sense of they can take more.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they can't take more... What I like is they can't take more damage. The purge troopers.
Mhm.
Obviously, full-on bosses can.
Yes.
And you'll get to some bosses that, even on story mode...
I can imagine.
A cunt.
Mm-hmm.
Just fuck off.
No, I can completely see that.
But, yeah, no, I started on story mode and I was like, this is too easy. I went up one. I was like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
There was seemingly no middle ground. You're just like, what the
Yeah, well, I started on Jedi Master, which is hard.
Well, so I didn't even start on story mode. I started on Jedi Knight, which I think is the second one.
Yeah, which I think is supposed to be normal.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to drop it until I'm used to because this is a different combat system. Yeah. Until I get the hang of it, I'll drop it and then put it back up. So I dropped it pretty much immediately. I was just getting the controls, getting the tutorial. Turns out I didn't need to. It's Dark Souls.
Yes, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Went back up and Stormtroopers never had a problem with, and all of the whole being surrounded with the guys with the electric sticky things and then those bastards showing up, the Stormtroopers, it was fine. Just dodge, woof, or whatever. Obviously it gets to a point where you have enough upgrades to just demolish anything from afar. You're just like, oh. Whenever I got into that situation further in the game, I would just pull one of the Stormtroopers to me and throw it at the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, like you can do some really cool shit. Don't get me wrong.
And there's trophies for doing some pretty cool shit as well.
So, but that was
then encouraged for a trophy or like myself. It then encourages you, because I'm one of those gamers who like you figure out something that works and then stick to it. There's no need to do any other moves. In this, I feel like there kind of is for different people because they can handle different shit. Like if there's just Stormtroopers around and you want to just charge at them and it's just easier to go sometimes even you'll do such a swing and you kind of clout the guy behind you in the face, which weirdly enough is how I often dealt with the guys with the sticks, because they don't tend to block when they're behind you, cause, so you just kind of swing and clout them in your head.
Murdered.
Yes, my biggest. Oh no, carry on, go. Because that would be a jump.
My difficulty issue, like my issue with the difficulty is it's my issue more than it is the game's issue. I'm aware of that, but I think from a design point of view, I don't think it was the right decision to go in that route. Because when I look at games like, and I'm just going to use recent ones as an example because they're recent, but Spider-Man, God of War, the Batman Arkham games, stuff like that.
In terms of combat, Batman and Spider-Man are the same thing.
Yeah, but you feel badass when you're doing it.
I don't think you're meant to at this point, though.
Perhaps, but I think that's the thing that I'm going. I want to feel bad. I want to feel like a badass Jedi. I want to be like, yes.
Yeah, I know, but that defeats the point of where he is at.
I appreciate that. Obviously, this could progress and change as the game gets later on, and you unlock more skills.
Where you are at the moment,
I get that it can develop.
You haven't finished training. You're not meant to be a thing. I didn't like the cop-out story way as to why you don't have your powers yet. Some of the powers you don't have.
He's somehow forgotten them or something.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just there's loads of shit like that. I
I
can't remember how to run on a wall, and then you flashback. Oh yeah, I do remember. I can do that. It's just like
you're just like you run, but with your legs to the side.
Yeah,
like,
and he's a Jedi who, in the opening, minor spoiler, but needs to be mentioned. In the opening cutscene, can figure out that you can use the Force to move a platform underneath a falling body, but can't figure out you can use it to push things.
That's not what he did.
What did he do?
He slowed him down.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense. But still, I just feel like...
Which in reality wouldn't actually do anything, because he has Force slow from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't do anything, because it would just stop him, and then when that platform's under him, he would still have the same momentum, and he would be jam.
Yeah.
But it's just like, weird in all the things... all the things. What do you know? Matrix Reloaded. Neo did not save Trinity by catching her. He atomized her is what he did. That speed he was flying at. He was bringing cars with him and windows were breaking. He just went straight into Trinity. Dead.
Yeah.
And anything where it involves a sudden stop. The only movie I've seen that addresses this is Batman v Superman.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Fair enough. But there's a point where Lois is falling under a building and then Superman kind of just...
slows her.
Flies underneath her.
Right.
And just like, okay, yeah. You didn't... Because otherwise, you'd be like, oh, you didn't hit the ground. No, but your organs just went... Dead. Just so much dead. So, a better example, in the Avengers, where he's leaping out the thing, suit catches him, and then he just goes...
Yeah.
Jam. utter jam in that thing. But anyway, sidetrack.
Either way, the weird little niggly things I have and problems I have aside, there are lots of things about it I genuinely really, really like.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I really like is that it's Star Wars, and it is
I think that is
Star
a
Wars.
huge thing that goes. Like, this is why people are loving this game so much, because it is a good game.
It is, yep.
But
But it gets,
it's the fact that it's Star Wars.
and it gets Star Wars right. It feels Star. The soundtrack and the music is fucking incredible, and the way it works is you're just exploring the
the world
environments, and the little
design,
music's playing.
creature design, it all feels.
Yeah,
Star
I
Wars.
really like BD1. At first, I thought I was going to hate
BD1
him.
is amazing.
Yeah, I thought I was going to hate him at first.
To be fair,
but
I think that's the only thing Star Wars has ever done consistently.
Droids.
Fucking great droids.
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk in, I can't remember what his droid was called.
K9SO or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
R2, obviously, C3PO, BD1, BB-8, Evil Triangular BB-8.
who was in it for a scene?
Yeah.
This Coke has really made me all.
The one in The Mandalorian. You haven't seen it, but I have acquired it.
Fuck you, Disney.
Exactly.
But it feels Star Warsy. The dialogue and stuff throughout the game is weird and weak in the same way Star Wars is, and I like that. It's not bad dialogue for Star Wars standards, and
Star Wars it's never been bad. It's that the world was constructed in such a way in the 70s.
Yep.
So it was always going to be 70s.
Yep.
High maturity level on that cheese.
Yeah.
Like, this is like cheddar that's gone green.
Yeah.
No, this is black cheddar. This is what that is. I had that for the first time the other day. It's quite nice. Black cheddar. Yeah. Again, sorry, cheese, but yeah, that kind of at this point, because of when it was written, that's kind of stuck.
Yeah.
A lot of the dialogue is just. I think The Last Jedi went a bit. Whole hog on the it's Star Wars, we get away with cheese. No, not that much. Not that much. Do you know your film was an incomprehensible mess because you just went, we're Star Wars. I'm gonna turn into a ghost puppet man wizard, and you're huh? What the fuck is going on? Why
You're
are
going
you
off
now
again.
just a jacket? But I know, but it's still Star Wars, so it's mildly relevant. But this doesn't go too overboard on the cheese.
No.
This is good Star Wars cheese. This is like Force Awakens cheese.
Yes.
Or Empire Strikes Back cheese.
Yeah, original trilogy cheese, yeah.
Not all of the original trilogy. Some of it goes in the trash pile that I have created. Mainly Return of the Jedi.
Oh, now we're going to have... Well, there's some good...
That movie's bad.
It is bad. There's some good bits in it, though.
There's some good bits in The Room. That's not true. There's some good bits in bad movies.
What do you mean, The Room?
The movie, The Room.
Oh, I thought you meant this room, and then you went, that's not true. I was like, there's some great stuff in here.
Not The Room. The movie, The Room.
I haven't seen the movie, The Room.
It's meant to be the worst movie ever made.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, yeah, dialogue's really good. As I say, music's awesome. The world design's great. The level design's great. I love being able to go between all the different planets and shit. My favourite thing about this game, and it seems mad that this is my favourite thing, but it's completely my favourite thing, the lightsaber customization. I fucking love it.
There is one thing I didn't like about it. One. You don't get the colours until about an hour or two away from the end of the game.
Now, strangely, I've not been bothered about the colours, and I have a story about the colours. So, currently, the colours I have to choose from
Blue,
are
green and orange?
blue, green, and orange.
I didn't have orange.
Orange is, I think, is a pre-order code bonus.
Also, don't be doing that. If you want some, like, a really cool lightsaber handle, yeah, sure. But the colours are what shit want. What people want. And do you know, the first thing Asa said to me was, I'm going to make my lightsaber orange. I went, well, you're not, are you? He's like, why? I was like, it's a pre-order bonus. He's like, what the fuck? Fine, I'll make it as close to orange as I can get. Red's not an option either, so...
Yellow.
Yeah.
So, I have kept my lightsaber blue.
So, when I say I don't like the fact that you don't get to change your colour, you can between blue and green, but which I did. I made it green because blue now, mate.
See, I don't like green lightsabers.
How dare you disrespect Qui-Gon?
Now,
I do like the story way.
Oh, I haven't got to that yet.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay, all right.
I do like the way it brings colours into the equation. That's all I'm going to say.
But I in the original Star Wars canon, the lightsaber colours have meant different things depending on where we are in canon.
Well, between 3 and 4.
No, I mean, like, so back when it was just the original trilogy, there was a thing that the lightsaber colours supposedly meant, like, blue was Padawan, green was Master. There was a thing about that a while.
I don't think they ever did that ever.
There was a thing. It was in like one of the Expand Universe books. And
So,
then
so it doesn't count.
so it doesn't count anymore.
And it was
anyway.
never in any of the movies.
No, it was never in the movies. No, it was just
Other than Qui-Gon happened to have a green lightsaber. That was literally the only example because
Luke-
Obi-Wan's was blue.
And Luke in the original trilogy, when he then becomes full Jedi and crafts a new lightsaber, it's green, not blue. And then there was some waffle that the colours, and this was like some bullshit thing about to argue Mace Windu, is that the colours of the lightsabers were down to their swordsmanship. Green was like one level, blue was the next level, purple was the best, and Mace Windu was the best swordsman. Also, bollocks.
That's not where it is in canon anymore. It's you don't choose.
You don't. Yeah.
You don't choose that crystal. It chooses you. Yes. What the reason purple actually exists is because Samuel L. Jackson said, "I'll only do it if I can have a purple lightsaber."
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's why I love the clout of Samuel L. Jackson.
Which is based
he
my
created
point
the best
being,
lightsaber.
I'm keeping my lightsaber blue until I can have it motherfucking purple.
No, I prefer.
just
To be fair, I did
that's all
go
I
back
wanted to
to.
say.
I went back to blue after a while just because I got bored. In the end, I went pink. I was like, "This
Yeah.
is fucking bitching." Just fucking.
Do you remember
magenta?
Can you have the weird, like, in because of Force Unleashed, you could have like a white lightsaber and a black lightsaber. It looked fucking weird. Have they got that on there?
No.
Good, because it looked.
There's very limited colours you can have. If you've pre-ordered it, you can have orange.
Yeah.
You can obviously have blue and green. You can have cyan, which is basically light blue,
Light bluey kind
turquoise.
of.
There's more of a baby bluey one. There are 2 or 3 variants of blue.
Is purple on there?
Purple's on there.
Okay.
Yellow, pink. That's it.
Okay. As long as purple's on there.
Purple's on there.
Good. Because that
Purple's on there.
pissed me off.
Obviously orange. If you pre-order, you don't get red.
The orange one just looks fucking weird. I don't like the orange one.
Really?
Yeah, I just think it looks weird.
Fair enough. To be fair, so does pink, but I really like it.
But I love being able to like choose the different emitters and all the different parts and just build your lightsaber and then the colour. It looks really cool. But that brings me to another problem. Is why is Cal's clothes customization so shit and limited? Oh great, I can have a different poncho.
You can have a different outfit underneath.
Yeah, there's like 4 to choose from, and currently I've only unlocked 1 other, and it looks shy. I just
Is
like,
that the super beige one?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, why? Give me more options than just a poncho. Like, I want to. I don't know. Like, you've given me some really cool
just gets-
personalization with the lightsaber. I feel like I need more personalization. But
But
again,
it's
it's a minor.
Jedi
It's a minor
clothes.
gripe. Yeah, I know. It's a minor gripe. It's just like,
Jedi wear a certain
Yeah.
thing, and it's more in tune with what Jedis wear. I know it just so happened to also be his work clothes from the very beginning of the game, but like I didn't have a problem with that. Like it looked fine.
Oh,
it
yeah,
looked
yeah.
Star Warsy.
I haven't got a poncho on at all at the moment. I think it looks better without it. So
Depends on the poncho, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tended to do I tended to. I don't know if tended.
I tended-
tended to kind of match to the environment.
Right. Okay.
Would I need a poncho in this environment? Because I have a thing where I've been in this game for days. Change your clothes, you dirty bastard.
Yeah.
Like, if I can change clothes in a game, I tend to.
Yeah, I
Because
do.
I'm just my brain just goes. It's been like a week.
That must have been your favorite thing about Red Dead.
Yeah. Almost on a daily basis. Every time I woke up, like, what should I wear today, boy?
Have a shave.
Yeah, well, clearly I don't worry
Well,
about
yes.
that. Wobble. But yeah, so I did that a lot. On Dathomir, for example, I was like, this looks warm. Poncho not required. Also, most of the BD1 colours look shit.
Yeah. I'm
I
just
found
sticking
one
with the,
very early on and I stuck with it.
I'm just sticking with the red and white at the moment.
Red and white?
The default one he has.
Oh, white and red. Sorry. My
I'm so sorry. Fuck off. It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Red and
White
white.
and red
white
is
and
not
red.
the same as red and
Oh,
white.
fuck off. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes,
White
it
and
is.
red is
Yes,
white
it is.
with red on it.
Yeah.
Red and white is
He's-
red with white on it. He's white with a red stripe.
All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So he's white and red, not red and white. You can't get one of those. It looks dumb.
It's like reverse BD1.
Yeah, pretty much.
You tell me your thoughts on the game. What do you think? Do you like
I
it?
really like it. I really like it. I have obviously pretty much all the same problems you have, other than like, yeah, there are performance issues. I had different ones. I had a full-on game crash.
That was it. Sorry, I'm going to backtrack because that's what I was going to say and I forgot and I text you saying Star Wars made me mad. I got into an area I could not get out of.
What do you mean?
So I got lost exploring Zephyr. I definitely went the wrong way because when I looked back at the map, it was like, I clearly was supposed to go there. It's clearly where I was supposed to go. I'm not supposed to be in this place. And there's a thing. The room I'm in has a red thing on the mappy, and the door that is like highlighted in red. So it's you need a thing. You can't do it there. Can't get out. The route that you came in, you can't reach again. You can't jump. So I'm just in here now. Cool.
I feel that's your fault.
It shouldn't let you get to that point if you're not ready to get there. It shouldn't let you get there, or at least should have an escape route built in.
Yes.
So I had to.
To be fair, there might be because all the times where I got
Possibly. Could not find one. I was there for 15 minutes. Couldn't find one. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to restart. Restarted the game. The respawn point was miles away. I was like, this was like 15 minutes ago. I was here. I'm not doing this again. And that was my other problem that I was going to say about the difficulty was the respawn points. I get it. You meditate in certain place meditation zones. If you're killed by an enemy, you respawn there. Fine. All well and good. But often that respawn point is so far away from where you've been killed. It's like...
Depends where you go. If you actually do a lot of sidetracking and stuff like that, there are actually respawn points pretty much.
Yeah,
everywhere.
there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them, definitely. I just feel like nearly every other game ever in recent years has been you spawn basically next to where you died. Why can't it just be like that? I don't see the gameplay benefit of having to make me go right back.
Because it's trying to be Dark Souls.
Which brings us to our other
Which brings
problem
me to my point.
later. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, and that's my problem. Why? That's my
Why
point.
is this game trying to... Like, I understand the combat side of things. I understand the difficulty side of things. Even, like, the having to dodge and, like, jump out the way, block and parry. I get it. It's a sword game. It's a melee game. And that's popular. But why is the bonfire thing been ripped from it? Why is the way you level up being you meditate there and use your XP? And also, why does everything respawn when you do that? Why is it ripped so much from Dark Souls? My biggest problem, like, I love this game, and if people hear me say this, they will have helleth fury. This game has not one original idea.
No, not at all.
Everything about this game, I can go, oh, that's from Dark Souls. That's from Uncharted. That's from Tomb Raider. Like,
Yep.
Literally all this game is Dark Souls where you raid tombs.
Yep.
And have massive set pieces like the new Tomb Raider trilogy or Uncharted. And it's just like...
which is then my other problem I have, which it also doesn't do any of those things that
better than
well.
what it's copying.
Yeah.
Like, it does them all well.
Yeah, it doesn't well, but it doesn't do. It doesn't do it better than what it's copying.
No. Like, there is
Or in some cases, as good as what it's copying either.
No, definitely not. Like, the Uncharted side of things is not as good as
No.
Uncharted. It never will be, merely because Uncharted's polished.
Yes.
And Sony don't be like, you've got to release this game in time for Indiana Jones. Fuck off. Got to release this game in time for Star Wars. That's over a month away. Why did you rush it this hard?
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to overlap. Fuck off, EA. Do you know when also people will be talking about Star Wars? Just after it comes out.
Yeah. Do you know else when they were talking about Star Wars?
June.
Forever. Like, just, it will keep happening.
almost daily for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
Longer than that.
Yeah. Star Wars. Like, doesn't
Star
matter.
Wars is old.
Doesn't matter when you release Star Wars, people will still care about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking
Exactly. Just like, we only care around the release of the Star Wars movie. Why? That film has just chosen a day.
yeah.
It's not like the films always come out on Star Wars Day, is it? There's a day. There's a day for Star Wars. People ignore it. It's in May. Everyone just fucking... Star Wars is apparently winter now. So it's not Christmas season anymore. It's just Star Wars season. Everything fucking got The Mandalorian, Fallen Order, and fucking...
Rise of Skywalker.
That one. A title that makes zero sense.
Yeah, it might make
during
sense,
the movie,
yeah.
but The Last Jedi didn't make any sense
Just
during the...
Luke Skywalker just appears and gets a small erection. So, yep.
Right, well, The Last Jedi was a title that made sense in the original script, but not in this one. So,
Anyway, Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
Also, just again, this is a IP and canon problem, not a game problem. The hypocrisy of the entire thing. We must kill all Force users with the Force and lightsabers.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff there. I was like,
Eat
what's
my
going on?
ass. Eat my ass. No.
Yeah.
Most of them in the films got killed by a fucking gun. Like, you're a shit Jedi. I think you deserved that.
Well, I thought that when I watched Revenge of the Sith. It was like, well, you lot of shit.
Yeah, just...
Also...
You managed to successfully block a single bullet.
I thought you were supposed to be able to sense this shit.
Well, yeah.
You're supposed to be able to go, I sense trouble occurring.
I sense a disturbance in the Force.
Yoda felt it.
Were you all off?
Yoda did. Yoda was like, oh, this is going badly. Oh, they've turned around. I'll have them. And then Poe, bloke with the, whatever his name is, with the orange lightsaber and the things, and the coloured woman with the big horny things running through the colourful
No one has
planet.
an orange lightsaber.
To be fair, he doesn't in the film, but he did in one game. I always remember having an orange lightsaber. But the other guy who's like...
The green guy who has the thing.
Not the green guy with the things. He's an orange guy, kind of lizardy head, and he has like things that come with like almost like pincers.
He's in the movies?
He's in one. Yeah, he's in Revenge of the Sith. He's on the Jedi Council, and he gets.
Oh, he's pink, isn't he?
Yeah, he might be pink. Yeah,
With the horny things.
Yeah. But he in one of the games he has an orange lightsaber. It's always been.
Oh, does
yeah, basically, why didn't any of them go to stormtroopers are shooting me? I'll have them.
Yeah, especially well, they were clones.
I mean, the little kid in Revenge of the Sith did a better job.
What little kid?
There's a bit in Revenge of the Sith where like the guy who adopts Leia goes to Jedi Council and there's dead Jedis, and then a stormtroopers attack him, and a youngling comes out of nowhere. He's like,
yes, I do remember now.
He killed like 4 or 5 of them. He banged, good kid. Not good enough, but anyway.
But no, yeah.
Yes, there's always problems. However, I feel like for 45 minutes we said a lot of bad things.
Oh no, like this.
There is some really good shit.
Oh yeah, no, it is. Despite the fact that if you're gonna just rip shit from other games, they've chosen very good games to do it
For sure.
And they haven't done any of it badly. It just some of it doesn't make sense. Like, it's a weird combination. Dark Souls and Uncharted.
Yeah.
The puzzles can eat my ass.
Yeah, I think
We've spoken on this show before about how I'm just
I haven't really come
obnoxiously...
across many of the puzzles just yet.
I'm
so-
obnoxiously shit at puzzles. And one of them is just...
The only proper puzzle I've done is the one where you learn force push in that temple, and you have to move all the spheres around
There's
to
a few
different
of those.
places. Like
There's
that
a
was
few of
just like,
those.
what do I do? What?
And
I see.
there's a couple of them, where you're just like, I know what to do. You're just being fucking annoying. Like, you've got to roll a ball around a thing, but instead it just goes over the path.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, eat dick. Go round the path. Like, there is a clear path for ball path to ball hole. And I did that, pushed it round the path. I was like, yes. And then it just went round the rim of where it needed to go and fell off. I was like, eat my arse. Just go in. And oh my God. Oh, there was a puzzle that I wasted at least a week on. And
That's an exaggeration. You completed it in 2 days.
I know, I wasted at least a week of that 2 days. Just
lying prick, Jack.
And I solved it. I did it. I was like, I feel smart. I am a very smart human being. And then realised that puzzle was entirely optional, and it's not what I needed to do at all. I was like, ah! But it's a really good game.
It's a good game.
It is a really good game. I'm really enjoying it.
I just want to backtrack and say, like, I complained about the combat and it being too hard. At the same time, I really like the combat. Like, when you put it off, you do feel cool. I've done some really cool shit on there.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say my main thing with this game is just how safe it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's so safe. It's copied games it's copied formulas that they know work. Obviously, the Dark Souls formula is incredibly popular these days. There are so many Souls-like games. We know Uncharted and Tomb Raider style games work. So it's just mashed those together. It's pulled it off reasonably well, mashing those two completely different styles together. But it's just so PG.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do you slice robots in half and monsters' limbs come off, but stormtroopers don't?
Well, that's weird, because there was... where'd you bring that up? Because a lot of people, like, before the game came out, were complaining about that problem. And then Respawn came out and said it's a Disney thing. Disney said we can't do it. In that build-up to it all, thought, I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me until I started playing it. And then it's like, oh, this feels weird.
Mm-hmm.
This now feels weird. Like, when you then are in a combat with someone and you do a move which you clearly would decapitate them and it doesn't. It's just like, that felt weird.
It just removes the power of a lightsaber.
Especially when other enemies, just say droids and bugs and stuff, it feels even weirder. It's just, what? Why, what?
You cut bugs in half and slice droids' limbs off and in half. And like, you don't even cut things in half in the normal way. You cut them in half like the properly grim way, like down the fucking middle.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I get it. You're like, oh, it's a Disney thing, but they do it in the movies.
Yeah.
You lop limbs off. Jango Fett had his head cut off. I realised it wasn't Disney.
I imagine it's a Disney thing in the sense of they wanted the game to be a certain age rating, and if you start doing that, it puts the age rating up. I think it's more that.
I don't think it would, because if you can do it to the humanoid droids, you can do it.
They always say that, like, the way like Peggy and whatever the fucking American one be. No,
you
what's the
don't
American one called?
see
ESRB.
that it's human.
True, because they're
fully armored up.
Yeah.
They could be anything. Like, and the films do it.
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones lop Jango Fett's head off, and that's a PG.
Mm-hmm.
That movie
and then the kid picks up their head.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's supposed to just be the helmet,
Maybe.
but
Where's
the head?
I think you can actually see a clip in that as the helmet rolls off, like the head fall out.
Oh, can you?
Same as in Revenge of the Sith. Anakin takes off Count Dooku's hands and head, and then there's a couple of shots where you can see the two hands and the head just loose on the floor.
Well, yeah, and like the whole lightsabers in general removed the old school reasoning for the age ratings. Was it just immediately cauterized the wound? Yeah. So it's a Disney thing, but like,
No, I agree.
It's so annoying.
And
like,
I think it's weird because I didn't agree until I played it.
What I don't understand. Disney is so uninvolved in Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so involved with Star Wars?
It's weird, isn't it?
Like, I understand, okay, nothing in Marvel you're going to be lopping people's heads off. But there have been R-rated Marvel games. There are R-rated Marvel movies. Admittedly, there were Fox. They're going to be Disney now.
Yeah, apparently
they've also said they are open to R-rated movies.
Yeah. I keep saying I would
but
love
at the
an
same,
R-rated
like, you
Darth
can't
Vader movie.
Say, oh, we want to lower the age rating to make this game more accessible. No one gives a shit. GTA is one of the most popular games of all time, so stop being so fucking unaware of the world. And B, you've made it a Dark Souls clone. This game is not accessible. Like, okay, yeah, it is if you play it in story mode, but your intention behind this game is not accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it a Disney? Why are Disney getting involved? Well, we know it's Disney because we know they don't. Respawn haven't held anything back in making like fucking Titanfall.
Yeah.
Like you can blow people to shit
Yeah.
in that game. You crush them, you stand on them, and it just feels really odd. Like it just feels like you just twatted them with a bat or something.
Yeah.
A bat that makes noises.
With a
toy
stick.
lightsaber.
Yeah.
Like, and you're just like, great. Like it feels badass when you do some weird spinny thing and just lock arms off, and it's not particularly PG when you force pull someone to you and just straight through.
You can do that?
It's in all the promo stuff.
That's cool.
You just force pull someone to you, grab them by the throat, and just go
That's very
straight through, and then discard them. It's great.
That's very cool.
It
Yeah, I
is
mean, I
also
have
the easiest. Like it is the
I have done some
life-saving
cool
crowd
shit.
control.
I really like there's been sometimes I've walked around the corner of the room, there's been a couple of stormtroopers, and straight away deflect the 2 bullets and kill the 2 with gun, and just then instantly take cover. Yeah, when you do
I like
something
the
cool,
fact
it's like,
that,
yes, this feels great.
Let's talk about more stuff we like. I like the fact that if you just hold block, the bullets aren't going back. They're just going anywhere.
But you're still blocking. Like
You're still blocking. To actually make the bullet go black, you have to
parry it if you get the timing just right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good because it feels satisfying when you do it.
Exactly. It feels intentional.
Especially if you do it whilst running, by the way. That's the most satisfying thing in the world.
Yeah, there's a skill that removes that
if you're
from
not
you.
sprinting, like if you're just running, and then someone shoots you and you hit the parry button at the right time, it's instant deflection. And it's just it just feels great.
There's a perk.
There's a perk which means you'll block when you're sprinting. Yeah, I've got that.
I don't think I do. I never bothered because I forgot sprint existed for the first 3 quarters of the game.
Wow.
You don't need it.
No, you don't need it anyway.
There's never a point where you need it. The only time I started using it after that was when I was backtracking. I was like, well, there's no need for me to take my time.
Yes.
Just, there are so many things I like. There are a couple of things I like that I don't want to say, just in case people don't know, and you don't know they're there. But a couple of things that you're just like, when I found it, I literally just went, oh my fuck! It was just so out of the blue. I was like, why is this here? I don't care. It's amazing. But it is very weird. Some of the places you find the upgrade benches, it's like, that's convenient that this piece you need for BD1 or your lightsaber is lying around. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Video games. But
so I said a lot of bad things, but I do really enjoy it. It just...
I'm going to go for the platinum. I'm going to carry on.
There's so many problems with it where you have to highlight them, and in my review, points will be docked accordingly because there's a couple of issues that just shouldn't be. There's glaring issues that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, obviously with the review, and we need to talk more about the positives than we have on this.
I've got a lot of great things to say about it, and as I play more, I'm sure I'll have more good things to say about it.
Lately, I've stumbled across loads of reviews. Death Stranding, for example.
Which is just all the negatives. That's all they do is list bad things.
All they do is list bad things, and then the score doesn't match it. You're like, Death Stranding was literally from IGN's review. It was literally a review, and many others, to be fair, listing negative shit, and then they go 6.8. You've only said bad things, but no, there is. I really like it. I really like Cal Kestis. I think he's cool. I think the mystery surrounding your around Sia is pretty cool. There are some other characters that show up later, and the story around them is pretty cool.
Sol Guerrero was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
That was
really
weird.
Weird.
There are other things that happen in the story that I'm just like, that's pretty fucking cool.
I'm really, really looking forward to playing more of it. Really, and I'm really glad we got what seems to be a good single-player Star Wars story.
I would say a great single-player Star Wars game.
It's just a shame there's a few things that I don't like about it, but that's all it is. There's a few things I don't like about it.
I imagine the polished things will just be removed over time.
Yep.
I imagine that'll be fixed up. Obviously the Dark Souls thing can't go away. I will tell you now, now that you're in story mode, most of those problems won't be an issue for you.
Probably. I've already found it a bit easier. I just said the last
I've
been playing it was I got stuck in a place I shouldn't be, and then it's respawned me fucking miles away. And I was like, oh. And at the time, I was like, I cannot be bothered to do this again right now. I'll do it later.
Yeah. So once you actually start playing it again, I don't think you'll die.
You reckon?
I didn't.
Fair enough.
I died twice near the beginning.
I have to admit, as soon as I switched it to story mode and went back to combat to the fight I just lost 5 times in a row, it was like, done it, and it felt good though. But it didn't even feel like I cheated it. It just was like, yeah, that felt better. That felt like I could play the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's my problem with the difficulty is on the next one up, it feels like it's too hard. Mm-hmm. Still.
There's too much of a spike. There isn't a middle ground. There is the... I just want to see the story, and I don't want to be interrupted in any way.
Even then, I don't even...
Even then, it's still...
It's still hard. I don't
like,
think it's easy.
It's not hard. Like, when I say all of these... Some of these bosses were absolute bastards. Like, yeah, they beat you down and what have you, and it's a fight. But I never lost. I didn't die. I fell off things all the time. I mean, like, but when you fall off stuff, it just puts you back up the ledge. It doesn't count as a death.
Fight I then went back to the first time on story mode. It was easy, but it still felt... It didn't feel like I just blasted through it. I still felt like I had to concentrate and play the game.
You had to fight, but like the reason I think it doesn't pose much of a challenge is it doesn't really adjust too much how they fight or how difficult they are to get through the blocks and what have you. You just take no damage whatsoever. Yeah. Like, you can get absolutely clouted by the biggest thing you come across and your health bar drops.
Yeah.
Like that. You're like, that's why. It takes, like... There was a point where I was farming a trophy, which involved me getting clouted in the face a lot because I'm not very good at dodging. I didn't heal up once. I had to do it 100 times. And I didn't heal up once the entire time. So it was like, you can just... go and go and go.
God, I love Star Wars. This is Press Start, your weekly video game podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. Don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube where you can see us anytime you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media. And you can subscribe and follow our multiple different podcast services on and around the internet.
Indeed.
And if you like what we're doing, head over to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk where you can buy a wide-ish range of merchandise, all of which supports us here on the channel.
Final thoughts.
I don't know if I have like a summing up kind of thought yet. I don't think I've played enough, but the thought where I am right now is I'm enjoying playing it. I think I've now sussed away where I'm going to take the problems out of it for me. Mm-hmm.
I think a large chunk of them
going forward, I'm hopefully going to enjoy it even more. Not that I didn't enjoy it anyway. I've been
to be fair,
to play it. So
I feel for you as they are for me. Those meditation points are not a respawn point anymore. They're a level up point.
Okay, they're a save point as well, aren't they?
Yeah. They're a save point, but at the same time, like you don't really die. Mm-hmm. Like you fall off shit, sure, but
then you spawn back where you fell off.
Where you fell off, yeah. So it's fine.
My final thought, actually, I will say, is an off the cuff of what the guys at Kind of Funny were saying on their review video, which they were all saying that the traversal was hard, and primarily they were saying
traversal was hard.
They were saying that rope swinging was hard because apparently the hitboxes for catching the rope are really small, and it's impossible to catch a rope.
Aim at the rope.
I've never missed a rope once.
No.
I don't know what they were doing. Like, I don't know if it's something that was fixed in a post-launch patch, maybe. But
I missed a rope in a fact of... Oh, yeah, that was my bad.
Yeah, I've mistimed a few jumps and stuff like that, yeah.
Like, I blatantly missed that.
Yeah.
Like, there hasn't been a case of it.
When you first go to the force push place and there's a jump you have to do and there's wind blowing you, so you have to jump like to the side.
Yeah.
That took me ages to get the positioning right. I just couldn't suss it.
With that, the only time I with each jump you had to do, I fucked it once. Like if I fucked it at all.
Basically, it was just the first jump took me a while to go. Where actually do I need to be? I couldn't judge where I needed. to aim.
With that I got.
And then once I found it, I was like, got it.
With that, I got lucky. Like, obviously, you just need to gauge how hard it's blowing you. That I just went, oh, I see. And then the second jump, I just went, whoop,
Yeah.
and landed on it. I was like, oh, okay. I just picked a lucky spot. It wasn't like, I have deduced. No. I just jumped. But, yeah. No, there was some cool... There's a lot of good shit in that game. I would definitely recommend playing it.
Definitely, yeah.
If you're a Star Wars... If you're an action game fan, I'd definitely recommend playing it. If you're not a Dark Souls fan, I would just say play it, but drop the difficulty down, just because it will still pose you like I feel accomplished because I did that fight, but it's not going to kick your ass, and you're not going to be stuck on a fight forever and ever and ever. Because I don't know why it's taken so much from Dark Souls. That's my main thing. But definitely play it. It's good. If you're a Star Wars fan or an action game fan, definitely play it because it's great. I wouldn't give it a 9 though, like everyone's been fucking doing, seemingly 4.5 out of 5 or 9 out of 10. I'm like, oh, no.
Out of interest, what would you score it?
Not too far from it. Like, there are some bits I really like. Like, while enjoying the story, I found it a pointless time. Like, just
as you say, that's the IP's problem.
That's the IP's problem, not the game's problem. As in terms of it being written, I feel like it's a well-written story. But there's bits in the middle. You're like, right, okay, you're just extending. You're just extending now at this point. But I think it's well written. I think it's well acted and well cast. I think some of the aliens you come across are cool, they're interesting. If you're looking for a new horror game, Kashyyyk will give you nightmares because there are Wookiees everywhere, which are horrifying.
They are horrifying.
Oh my god, it looks like they were rendered in like the Phantom Menace
Yes,
game,
yeah.
and then just ported over. Like,
And then
what happened?
and then downscaled after that.
Yeah, what happened? But
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Somewhere people went in the office and went, yeah, they look good, and didn't. No one went.
they were
No
high
one
that
went.
day.
Vince, mate. Do
The
you not think?
Wookiees look
Do
like
you not think we need
shit.
to fix the Wookiees? They look bad.
Especially considering in the last demo they released, like the last time they were at a conference, Gamescom, were they
Wherever
at
it was,
Gamescom?
something like that. Yeah.
Everyone went, "What? The Wookiees look awful."
Yeah. And
they didn't fix it.
Respawn still went. Yeah, all right.
Didn't pay any attention to the fact that everyone just went.
And as you say, it didn't make any sense because Cal's hair looks fine.
Yeah, the Force Unleashed Wookiees look fine, and that was nearly 10 years ago. Like there is the opening level of the Force Unleashed is on Kashyyyk, and is a badass level, by the way. What happened with the Force Unleashed 2? Well, good God. Anyway,
They got carried away.
no, they didn't. They just got bored apparently
Oh, yeah.
and just didn't do anything. But I like Sam Witwer. Anyway, my final thoughts are: play this game. It's a great game. Play this game. It's it's up there. It's in the Game of the Year conversation.
Oh, it's definitely in the conversation.
It's definitely in the conversation.
To be fair, there's not been a huge amount of.
Pretty much
contenders
everything
this
we've
year,
played and liked this year fits into one hand. I'm going to try. Like,
Days
Game
Gone,
of the Year contending. Days Gone,
Call of Duty,
Call of Duty,
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Oh, this year's been this year's been rough.
Yeah, it has.
Like, there are other options for other people, but for gamers like us, those are the three. Like, obviously, there are people out there going to be going, Resi 2, Resi 2,
Death Stranding,
which is a fantastic game in that genre, but that genre means nothing to me. I don't like that genre, mainly because I'm a pussy little bitch, boy. And also, I hate games that just interrupt you. It's like, go here. No, you can't. You need to go here. Ha fuck you, you can't. There's a big man in a hat in a way.
Now you've got to walk around the entire map until you lose him, and then go back there.
Where he'll show up again. And you're just like, no, okay. I just think stuff like that is bad design to extend the game out just to make you run around, do lunatic shit. And if you like Resident Evil, it's a fantastic example of Resident Evil, but for us, whatever.
Yeah, I'll withhold my judgment whether or not it's a Game of the Year contender or Game of the Year until I've completed it. Currently, for me, believe it or not, Game of the Year for me is still Days Gone. But that's a conversation for another day. This is
Yep.
Press Start, your weekly video game podcast. Thank you for watching, and until next time, we shall see you then.
May the Force be with you.